Good evening, and welcome to the St. Petersburg by Night podcasting network. Tonight, we present to you our Werewolf the Apocalypse Chronicle, Rage Across Tampa.
Welcome to another St. Pete by Night revamped production. The following is rated for mature audiences and may contain graphic themes that will be distressing to some viewers. As always, we recommend you ensure the safety and well-being of yourself and those around you at all times. Viewer discretion is advised.
In the heart of night, we rise from shadows, howling at the moon, igniting our battles, cleansing dire of an endless fight, until our final days we will fight. Thanks, man, we stand united as one. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the brave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take our final stand. Everywhere we run, the wind is at our back. All the warring forces we will track. From the depths of the ocean to the clouds in the sky, vampires tremble as we learn to fight. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Evil spirits lurking with horror and dread. Little light leads us where the brave dare tread. Glory and honor, wisdom in our hand. Together we rise, take a final stand. Rage across Tampa, in this fight we'll stay. Everywhere with the pack, let the night be our guide. In battles of honor, we shall never hide. Rock will never hide.
Good evening and welcome to the St. Pete by Night Entertainment Network. My name is Kent, also known as Michikent on all social media, and here we play St. Petersburg by Night, a massive multiplayer 5th edition World of Darkness Chronicle set in the city of St. Petersburg, Florida. Not St. Petersburg, Russia, as most people often misconstrue, but tonight is Tuesday night, and you know what that means. It's Rage Across Tampa, our Werewolf the Apocalypse 5th edition chronicle set across the bay in Tampa, Florida, where our pack of Guru attempt to wrestle control of the city of Tampa away from the Tampa Camarilla. And so far, they've been doing a pretty good job of it as control of the area starts to slip from the fingers of the Tampa Camarilla. The power struggle has started to sway in the favor of the Guru, but they've experienced some setbacks of their own as of late, as they have sacrificed their cairn to appease the spirit of storm and to try and make things right in the area, to try and set the scales back in their favor with the long-term future in mind. But what that means for the overall politics of the Guru Nation, what that means for the future in other cases, remains to be seen. If you're a fan of the World of Darkness, and if you like what we do here, you should go follow us on all of the social media you see down below. And if you think this is something you might want to get involved with, you should join our Discord community. You can do so by following the link down below, and you could find yourself playing in one of our one-shots, maybe joining one of our tables, and who knows, maybe you could be a part of our amazing community where we discuss all kinds of topics, not just the World of Darkness. And we'd love to have you, as it's an ever-growing community of amazing individuals that make it a really cool place to be. Anyway, This story wouldn't be possible without some pretty amazing players to make it happen. So players, let's go ahead and introduce yourselves if you please.
Hey everybody, my name's Preston. I play Aiden, Goodspeed, the Arun of the Gale Stalkers.
Hi, everybody. I'm Champ, Champagne, a Jennifer Lawrence type, whatever you want to call me, and I will be playing Aspen Weiss, Philodox of the Silverfangs.
Hello, everybody. I'm Noree. I'll be playing Malicious Jester, the Galliard of the Black Furies.
Hi, everybody. I'm Walks, and I will be playing Lucas Shaw, a Ragabash of the Shadow Lords.
Champ, since you are a fan of a very tall woman with a big ass, I will give that an A+ for a title this time. To get everyone caught up, here we are on the brink of possibly the Guru's biggest opportunity yet to strike back at the Tampa Camarilla, as they have gathered information over a great deal of time, trying to gain an advantage, trying to get the upper hand. Now, they have had some victories in the past, trying to gain some advantage. One of those victories being when they struck back against the Camarilla by destroying a big source of their food. When they struck back against a particular food bank and then launched a cyber attack which destroyed a great deal of food sources that even the Guru themselves don't know the magnitude of fully. They still seem to be hearing more and more bits and pieces of the impact that was felt from that attack from sources like Spud, and maybe some bits and pieces coming down the line from even national sources across the board. But now, with the use of the rat spirit, some intelligence has come down. They have heard of the location of Bloody Mary, one of the biggest antagonists to their efforts to date. The sheriff of the Tampa Camarilla, a position that they don't know necessarily the magnitude of, but the enforcer, it seems, of the area, the biggest threat, the one who is attributed with destroying the previous sept that held sway, the one known for murdering Ryder with his own clave, the one who is believed to be primarily responsible for the death of many of your loved ones, the one responsible for the attack on Eliza herself at her own home, the one who has been terrorizing all of you, along with Bateman, for a majority of the time that you've been in the area. Now, it seems you might have an opportunity to strike back at her, as you have learned that the location of Bloody Mary appears to be the Port of Tampa, in a large shipping boat down at the port. A vessel that never moves, however, the registration constantly changes. A boat that is manned with no particular destination, that is constantly guarded. Rat gave you a bunch of information, but didn't tell you exactly where it was, prompting you to send Aiden and Lucas to get some reconnaissance on the boat so that you could plan an attack. But you didn't want to go in blind, so you wanted to come equipped with any advantages you could get. Aspen, for the past several months, has been trying to get any advantage she could, using her contact, the Duskborn Spud, to try and learn as much as she could about the leeches. She had heard that holy water is particularly useful against any kind of leech, that it can burn like acid or napalm, but it has to be particularly potent. It has to be pure. And in her search for any kind of miracle, any kind of pure holy water, most of her leads have come up empty. Holy water, the real deal, is hard to find. Because while it can be marketed to be the real deal, it's kind of like a snake oil salesman. It can be said that it's real, but only those of the true faith can actually make holy water. And it's like magic. It's rare, and it's very hard to find. But after a great deal of research, Artie revealed that he found a ministry buried deep within Tampa that has been said to produce miracles. And so Aspen and Jester have decided to go off to look into this particular ministry to see if maybe they have found their miracle. Maybe they have found a source. Or maybe they've just found another dead end. But speaking of Jester, she's been dealing with her own struggles as of late. After the execution of her ex-boyfriend Leon, after revealing that he was a ghoul to the Tampa Camarilla for some time, she retreated into her own mind in the depths of Hirano, only to eventually be recovered by her pack. But she has still struggled with this notion for some time. Eventually, she was brought out of it to some degree by Charles, of all people, who has taken her in and tried to give her some refuge, some safe space. But Charles is a rather polarizing figure, as he has shown his loyalties to the nation and his disapproval of Aspen's leadership and of the decisions of the pack as of late. But his kinship with Jester, especially being the one who stood beside her as she executed Leon, has been rather curious. And Aspen, having noted the closeness between Jester and Charles, has an opportunity to ask her about it. And so that's where we start our story tonight. Aspen and Jester. You met at Greer's. Jester was dropped off by Charles in his luxury town car at the entrance to Greer's to meet you with Regina and the Jeep before heading out to the ministry. And so our scene starts just outside of Greer's as Jester is climbing into Regina, preparing to head off towards the ministry where you are to begin your investigation. And the scene is yours.
Aspen will kind of like pet the wheel, like rub the wheel, as Jester is walking up, and lean over and just be like, "It's weird, right, Regina? It's not just me."
The engine of Regina kind of revs a little bit in agreement.
I'll get to the door and climb in. Hey,
Hey, you ready to do
Hey.
this?
yeah. Are we just going in and talking to them first, or what's the plan?
Yeah, I figured we could go in, just kind of inquisitive about what they're all about. Tell them there's rumors of miracles, see what we can find out, and kind of go from there. See where they lead us. See what information we can get, and potentially get to what we need. Get to the holy water, and we can get one step closer.
Okay.
Did you have any particular way you wanted to go about it?
No, just I'll follow your lead on it.
Okay, great. How are you doing?
I mean, good days, bad days, I guess.
Is it weird? It's probably an insensitive question. Is it weird being out of your body and then back into consciousness as a whole?
Yeah, That was really startling. Um, my I don't remember anything beyond that night, and then waking up was a lot. It was a lot. And obviously, there's a whole bunch of shit I've missed that I'm slowly learning happened.
Charles letting you know.
He told me some things. I also visited the cairn after he told me.
Yeah, we had to make some decisions, and some think that it was necessary and some don't. So
I I can't have opinion on that. I wasn't there, and I'm sorry for that. I really am. I should have been there. Should have been better at dealing with things. But I do have some questions about it.
okay, and I don't blame you for not being there, but nothing about what happened with that situation is your fault in any way. I understand you were going through a lot.
Yeah. Um, did anyone talk to the spirits? Did did anyone know what was going to happen to the spirits? I guess is the first question, because
I had an idea of potentials that could have happened. I can't say that I knew from an exact of what was going to happen, but we knew that that Grandmother Willow would probably be destroyed. Yeah.
did anybody talk to them before?
No.
Okay. Um, like I said, I can't say what was the right decision. I don't know. Like, all of it was not good, but it feels kind of like murder to me because we didn't. They still have personalities and feelings and consciousness, and we were their allies, and we didn't even talk to them. We just decided for them. And I know I would hate that if that was done to me, and I wasn't even given an option to like say anything about it if someone just decided to sacrifice me like without any consent.
I understand that, and I understand we have a lot of work to do as far as that goes. But something and someone was going to be sacrificed no matter what. And
Yeah,
I
but
made the decision.
I know. And from what I'm getting, it was definitely a very hard decision. Just maybe, I guess, in the future, if we have to make another hard decision like this that involves others, we talk to them first instead of like making the decision for them that could hurt them or kill them without them even knowing.
The decision would have been made either way. So it came down to do we tell them this is the decision we made and to make peace with it, or does that make a difference?
Maybe if we'd explained it, I mean, how far are we willing to go to be like our enemies? That sounds honestly like what vampires would do, where they would make a decision and not care about people that were working with them or their allies, even like not care about what they say or like their lives, even.
If I'm going to be honest, and I don't... It came down to them or you or Artie. And I made the choice for them. And I wasn't going to lose you guys.
Yeah, I know, and don't get me wrong, I'm grateful. It's just... I know I talked months ago about hard decisions and things like that, but I also feel we have to remember who we are and what we're trying to do and not become more monsters than we already are.
So the problem is with us not telling them before. Because I
Yeah.
would have made the same decision.
That's... Yeah, that is... I mean, I get what you're doing and I get the decision you made, and like, I totally get it. And don't get me wrong, I am grateful that you were making sure you didn't want to lose me, but yeah, taking the choice away from others and just doing things to them, especially people who are supposed to be our allies or spirits that are supposed to be our allies, just feels really wrong to me. And honestly, I would have rather sacrificed the clave if we didn't give them an option.
I wasn't going to do that.
I know.
You were already gone. You were already gone. I wasn't going to make it worse.
I know. I know. And I get it. It's just... I'm just letting you know how I feel.
And yeah, tactically, I mean, having you gone or already gone would have been really dumb tactically for us. So, I mean, if that helps, I don't know. But yeah, I couldn't do it to either of you. I just couldn't. And as far as the spirits go, how do you tell somebody, hey, I've made a decision to execute you, and you just have to live with that while you're still around until it happens?
You could have just asked them, hey, we're trying to stop from more devastation happening. I don't know.
I can't ask them. I would be telling them, I'm sending you to your death.
Yeah, I guess... I don't know. Just feels really, really bad.
There
And
was no good option. There was no good option.
Didn't seem like there was one.
And if I'm coming off defensive, I made the decision, and I'm kind of over explaining it. I'm sure Charles told you his side.
He told me what... He kind of gave the minutes, to be honest.
Oh, it was Aspen made a terrible decision, and now you guys are in trouble with the nation, and I think your decision was stupid, and I'm going to sit here and reprimand you while also sitting up in my high tower doing nothing. Yeah, that sounds like him.
Not exactly. He's upset. He feels betrayed. And he hasn't exactly done nothing.
Yeah, I know he hasn't done nothing, but kind of seems like he doesn't have a whole lot of room to act like he's disappointed in me.
Okay, so don't get me wrong. He is one of the worst people I have ever met at communication. Like, one of the worst. But I feel like maybe both of you haven't been really communicating with each other well this whole time.
Since the very beginning, Jester, he told me I'm here for a job for Matthias, and if I can help you, great, but I have no loyalty to you. What am I supposed to communicate? A good thanks. Thanks. I'll call you when I need you. Like I don't I don't know what kind of communication you have with somebody that has no loyalty to you and has loyalty somewhere else. What
But
good
but
is that?
like I said, he's one of the worst people at communicating, but he has been training Aiden and he has been training me. And he held on to Leon when he probably should have killed him. It's not just words, it's also actions. He's been doing more than his duty to Matthias has entailed. And you can take it for what you want. I mean, I can't, you're the leader. I can't tell you what to do. I can just give you my perspective on it.
I don't think you're talking to me as a pack mate right now. I figured we were talking as friends. So,
Okay, then, yeah, like, I mean, Matthias is your mentor, right? They're supposed to be our allies, right?
right.
Okay. Um, I don't know. Maybe we just. Do you still want to fix things? Like, what do you want to do now?
I do. I want to fix things, and I mentioned that. Not exactly sure where to start, but I also am not going to sit there and say that I'm not going to grovel at the feet of people who don't understand, who aren't a part of it. I can put our best foot forward. I can fix things that they think are wrong about what we need to change, of course, but I'm not going to sit there and tell them that it was a wrong decision for me. I don't think it was, and I'm not going to tell them what they want to hear to make it all go away. Honestly, you guys are what matters to me. Of course, this place matters to me. Of course, the nation matters to me. It all matters to me, but none of that matters if you guys aren't around.
Yeah, I get that, but you do understand that we don't have a long lifespan, right?
I do. I do understand that. I'm wholly aware of that. I get told that quite often. Yeah.
I mean, like, one of the reasons I think any of us will probably follow you wherever and whatever is because you are willing to look after us to that point. I get it, but I don't know. Just, I guess trying to look at it from other perspectives helps figure out how we can fix it. And some people feel betrayed and upset, and maybe it could just start with an apology and ask what we could do to make up for it.
I appreciate the idea of making up for the issues they see there, but I don't believe that there's an apology needed.
Why not? we took something from them without asking.
An apology to who, Jester? I guess I need to understand. An apology for what? To who?
The spirits, to start out with. We destroyed an entire can. I mean, we would be on destroyed that thing. There's nothing there.
Oh, if that's the case, then yes, I do think that we need to apologize to the spirits. They were wrapped up in something that they couldn't control. The spirits, yes, I believe that they deserve an apology. As far as the nation goes, I will try to make that relationship better. Yes, I absolutely will. But as far as apologizing for making a choice that they perceive as wrong, I'm not the first one to do that, and I will not be the last one to do that. And I did what I thought was right, and I'm not going to apologize for that.
Some of those people are our friends, though.
I understand that.
I mean, if someone stole from you or broke something of yours, wouldn't you be upset and want an apology?
Depends on the circumstances. There were things that you all have done that I don't agree with, that I've been upset about, angry about, irritated about. But when explained and told that it was done for a good reason, I don't need an apology. Look at
that's fair.
Lucas.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I said, conversations are needed to be had. I don't expect to not have to explain myself by any means. I just don't think that apologizing for something that I think I did correctly needs to happen for those conversations to happen.
Okay.
I stand by my decision. And I hope you do too.
Stand behind you, yeah. I may not completely agree with it, but still stand behind you as my leader.
Thank you. And I'm going to continue to make decisions that will help what we're doing here happen, because that's what I want. That's what we're all here for, and that's what we all want here. And I'm going to continue to do that. And sometimes it's going to ruffle feathers, and sometimes you're going to have a big blonde suited man tell you you're wrong. I get that. But I can roll with the punches. I think I'll be okay.
Okay.
But also living with him.
Oh, that's... Do you know he only had one glass, one fork, one spoon, one knife, one plate, and one bowl? Seriously, that's it.
I'm simultaneously surprised and not surprised at the same time.
Now he has two because he decided I can't use his set. I have to have my own, but and yet he has a guest room. It's utterly confusing.
I don't think he's one to have guests. I think it's more of
He said it was a necessity.
a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you like being there?
No, he leaves sticky notes for me all over the place, and it's really annoying. Oh, Jester, take a shower. Oh, Jester, feed yourself. But as annoying as he is, he's also fucking right. I do feel better.
I can't say that I disagree with his aggressive self-care pushed upon you. I can't say I disagree with that.
Yeah, and I'm afraid that if I went back to Greer's, I just fall back into the hole I was in. He kind of found me wandering the woods in Lupus.
Well, I'm glad he was there for you with that. I'll have to say thank you.
Yeah. So, for now, I'll stay until I guess I feel good enough to be on my own.
Fair. And I will try my best to communicate with him.
If you want, I could try to be there to help mediate if he gets really annoying.
I think it'd just make it worse, honestly.
Fair. I mean, he's still here, so that says something.
It's true. And I let him know that. So you make points, Jester. I'll work on it.
As the two of you have been lost in conversation, you didn't even realize that the Jeep has been moving this entire time. Regina has somehow tactically and tactfully driven so smoothly and so carefully that the ride has gone by unnoticed. Even though the Tampa streets can be treacherous at best most of the time, the traffic perilous, the way she has glided through them has made the trip pleasant, allowing you to focus solely on what you've been saying. And before you know it, you find yourself far outside of the reach of the downtown area, away from Greer's, which sits along the western side of the city, now more towards the east. Not near the biker bar where Jester has often frequented, but more towards the northeastern part of the city, towards more of the outskirts suburbs, in a little neighborhood that often gets disregarded and ignored. A little bit more run down old Tampa, a less moneyed area, and a more, well, ill-gained area. In the middle of that neighborhood sits a small cement building that probably once upon a time was a community center for a up-and-coming community some 20 or so years ago that obviously went into disrepair, probably closed or was abandoned, only to be repurposed and renewed, and now has become a ministry center, redubbed Tampa Ministries. As the Jeep pulls up into the parking lot, there are a few vehicles parked in the parking lot. They aren't anything fancy by any means. Old sedans in the early 2000s make. You can even see something that probably came from the 90s. As beaten up as it is, rusted bumper, none of the modern features that most vehicles boast, like cameras or turn signal indicators, lane change indicators. Something that probably wouldn't even be roadworthy. Regina's going to fit right in this parking lot. So as the Jeep comes to a stop and the engine dies, you look to the front of the building, and there are several windows along the front and a couple of glass doors at the front, and you can see that there are several pictures kind of hanging in the front windows. Several of them look to be colored in sketches on the front windows, look like they were done by children, possibly from the neighborhood or those that had visited nearby. You can also see several greeting cards that look like they've been taped up in the windows, as well as letters Out front, you also see that there appear to be a couple of effigies that have been made. Memorials, perhaps, with flowers and candles. Now, as you're looking over the displays, there doesn't seem to be any clear religious bend at this ministry. In a couple of the sketches, you can see Stars of David. In others, you can see crosses. In others still, you can see other religious idolatry that you can't quite even identify. As you look to the sign that states Tampa Ministries, you can see that it also represents a variety of sigils. This doesn't claim any specific denomination. In fact, it seems to be a multi-denomination facility. Inside, the lights are on, and you can see a few individuals milling around inside. What do you wish to do?
You ready?
Yeah. I think between the two of us, we can talk our way through what we need.
I think so. By the way, this seems like the most non-denominational church place I have ever seen.
I like it. It's neutral.
Yeah.
So as you climb out of the Jeep, the doors creaking, as they often do, a sound that at first would be very grating when you first came upon Regina, the first time you met her, now is just a comforting sound of the old beat-up car that you've come to know and become more and more fond of over the past year. The sound of the doors slamming shut behind you. You walk across the cracked concrete driveway, entering in through the glass doors, and as you open them, a whoosh of the air conditioning as it hits you is accompanied by something else. Something indescribable. A feeling of lightness. Like the weight being lifted off your shoulders. All the burdens of the conversation that you just had. All the burdens of the last few weeks, months, maybe even year, for a moment, seem like they are just dropped behind you at the door. The air that you breathe in, that first breath that you take when you walk in the door, feels like it's the first clean oxygen breath that you've taken since you arrived in the city. But there's also a smell in the air. Maybe incense, maybe jasmine, but it's pleasant. Inside, there is a reception desk near the front. There's also a rack of pamphlets off to one side with a variety of church pamphlets for a variety of various churches, but there's also other services, including grief counseling, including soup kitchens, including other services, free lawn services, basically things that are offered to the community for those that are down on their luck. Places that offer drug counseling, services for those in need. At the reception desk sits a young woman, probably no more than 20, 21 years old. From the look of her, as you take her in, she does not look like somebody who should be manning a reception desk. She is definitely rough around the edges. Her hair is ratty and in knots. Her clothes look like they came out of a donation bin. They are ill-fitting and look like they are meant to be formal, but they don't necessarily suit her well. They definitely look like they're out of place on her form. And she looks like she has tried to clean herself up well, but from the fingerless gloves that she has on and from the patchwork combat boots on her feet, you can tell that she likely is an unhoused individual that has been taken in and given some means of employment in the facility. Next to her stands a man near the desk in his mid-50s, graying hair, especially shocks of gray around the temples. He is dark-skinned. He wears a collared black shirt and black trousers, black shined dress shoes. And he stands with a hand on her shoulder, instructing her as she is trying to fill out some paperwork, but is obviously having some difficulty with it as her hand shakes, trying to fill it out, her handwriting a mess on the paperwork. But he is extremely kind and extremely patient as he guides her through the work. But as you enter in through the front door, he pauses for a moment and looks up to you. Well, hello. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Thank you. Good afternoon. This is our first time here. We were just wanting to see what it was all about.
Oh, well, welcome in. My name's Reverend Thomas. This is Alice. Come on in. And you are?
I'm Aspen.
I'm Allison.
Aspen, Allison. Welcome to Tampa Ministries. What brings you in today?
Well, we've been a
We-
bit weary. We've had a unfortunate few weeks, and we're just looking for healing, if you will, the soul.
We heard some rumors about just good things about this place, and we wanted to maybe come in and just talk about some things.
Well, of course. I'm always happy to help. If you would. And before he can finish the sentence, next to him, Alice suddenly barks in both of your direction. Ruff! Ruff! As she looks at both of you, she seems to be staring with a very direct expression at both of you. The Reverend reaches over. Now, Alice, that's not very polite, is it? Why don't you calm yourself and go get a drink of water, if you please? She kind of looks up anxiously at him for a moment, but then nods and gets out of the seat and starts backing away from both of you, but she doesn't seem to ever turn her back to you as she backs, and her throat continues to rumble with a little growl as she makes her way towards what appears to be a side room off to one side that looks like a break room. You'll have to forgive Alice. She's had a difficult time. She's come from a very rough background, but she is on the mend. Please follow me if you would. And he starts leading you towards one of the back offices, it appears.
It's very kind of you to take her in. Most people would probably toss her aside or just shake their heads and ignore the situation.
I don't believe in such things. We look to heal, as we are all God's children, or all children of whatever you believe in, we are meant to be good to one another. All religions believe in the same thing. Do unto others as you would have done unto you. I believe that if you are kind, kindness will be returned. And no one, no matter where they come from, deserves anything other than kindness. As he leads you into an office off to one side, you can see that the office doesn't even have a door. It looks like if there was a door there at one time, the door has been completely removed from the hinges. Inside, there are several comfortable chairs, although they look secondhand, as if they've been bought from a thrift store themselves, but they are well tended to and taken care of. There's no desk to be seen, just an open plan with several chairs. He goes and sits in one and offers the seats to both of you and gestures over to a small, tea set that is set off to one side. Would you like some tea or some water? Something that I can get for you?
I'm all right. Thank you.
I'm alright as well, but thank you.
So you said you were in need of some guidance, some healing.
Yes, both of us have had a difficult couple of weeks. Allison has had real struggles as of lately and could really use healing for her spirit, for her soul.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, Allison, what is it that you believe in?
Protecting the earth and the people on it. I believe we are intrinsically connected to the earth itself, and without it, and we would not survive, and the damage that is being done to it is destroying our souls as well as the planet itself.
I see. Well, I can't say they teach too much about preserving nature in my faith. We talk more about preserving our souls and each other's souls, but we do have those of the pagan faiths and those that practice more druidic faith that work within the center here. I could possibly put you in touch with some of them, but as far as the difficulties we put ourselves through, I could talk you through some of that, some of the struggles you have. I'm here to help in any way I can.
I appreciate that. I've recently lost someone I cared deeply about.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
He was addicted. He had an addiction problem. And it kind of led to his death. And it's only been a few weeks, and it's really hard dealing with it.
Certainly the first few weeks are the most difficult. It's easy to think that when individuals go down those roads, we think it's somehow our fault. Something we did or didn't do that caused them to go down these paths. And when these paths lead to their end, we think that it's something that we could have prevented if we'd tried harder, done more.
It is my fault. Like I said, I believe in protecting the earth, and I'm part of an activist group that tries to do that, and there were people who didn't like that, and I think they got him addicted to try to get to me.
And how is that your fault?
I mean, if he hadn't, we'd we dated for a while, and I ended up breaking it off because of all this. But if he hadn't have been involved with me, he wouldn't even, he'd probably be living a better life.
So you believe if he hadn't supported someone doing good works, he'd have been living a better life?
Happier one, at least.
Maybe. Maybe not. Can I tell you a phrase I heard? It's a little bit of a cheeky phrase. You're shooting yourself. And what I mean by that, you should have done this, you should have done that. You should have never met him. You should have never talked to him. You should have never dated him. And you could do that all day, all night. What difference would it make? You should have done nothing. You did what you did. And when you were doing it, you did it with the information you had at the time. And he did it with the information he had at the time. He did it because it's what he wanted. And you did it because it's what you wanted. Do you believe yourself to be a good person, Miss Allison?
I thought I was at once.
And now?
I don't know. Sometimes I wonder.
Are you trying to be?
I try.
That's all we can do. Every day we wake up and we try. At the end of the day, when all is said and done, something, whatever it is we believe in, will be the final judge of whether or not we succeeded, if that is what you choose to believe in. I believe that yes, when I pass on, I will be judged on my actions. But because I tried, with everything I had, to do the right thing, to be the best person I could be, that's all I could do. And I will face my judgment proudly, with my head held high. And could other people have been hurt because of what I did? Yes. It's very likely, and it's very possible. I certainly hope not. But there's nothing I would have done differently if I was doing what I believed was the right thing. And if they chose to support me in doing that, I would hope that they believed that was the right thing too. We can't control the actions of others, Miss Allison. It's a fool's errand to try. And there are wicked people in this world who seek to take advantage of that, who seek to do harm to others. It is an unfortunate thing. They are misguided. And while I hope that they find peace and that one day we can help heal those individuals, that we can forgive them for their wickedness. We cannot be responsible for them. We cannot fault ourselves for what they have done. What happened to your friend is tragic, and you have every right to mourn. Your grief is a long and difficult road. But if your friend here is any indication, it's not a road you walk alone. And that is something to be celebrated, something to be grateful for. And it is a road you will see the end of one day. And your friend, they are now at peace, and their struggle is over. Wherever they are. There is some comfort in that. It is not your fault. And I know the words of an old man that you just met might not convince you of that. Not right away. But trust me, it's not. Who you associate with does not define you. How you associate with them does. And by trying to protect them, being kind to them, showing them the right path, teaching them, that makes you a good person.
Thanks.
As I said, this is a long road. And it seems like you are in the early stages of it. And we have many, many means to help you along it, should you need them. So do not be afraid to make use of them. We are here for you in any way that we can be. You are not alone. We have many individuals like yourself that come through these doors lost and alone, experiencing very similar stories like yours. Many in the same stage of the story as yours, many further down the road. They will all walk with you. They will all hold your hand. You are not alone. And with that, he reaches out and holds out a hand to you.
I'll reach out and take his hand.
His hand is soft, warm. You can tell as you get to the palm, there's a little bit of a callus to it. Seems like he came from a life of labor, maybe in his youth. He gives your hand a gentle squeeze and gives you a reassuring smile, his eyes kind, the wrinkles along his face creased. I am sorry for your loss. But you will be okay. And what about you, Miss Aspen? Are you just here as the supporting friend, or are you in need of guidance also?
I'm quite all right. I did. I have a person in my life who is. It seems to be a darkness within them. And I did hear rumors of potentials for miracles, I guess. It's silly to say. To help in that way. And I was just hoping that there would be a way to bring a miracle to release that darkness from this person.
There have been many talks of miracles coming out of this place. I've heard that, and it's brought a lot of people knocking on our door. And I would love to tell you that I had some magical powers, that there was some sort of incredible way about this place, that I had the cure for all illnesses and the magic to banish demons or solve all your prayers. I don't have the cure for everything that ails everyone. I don't. I would be lying if I said I did, and I'm not here to be a charlatan. None of us are. This isn't a business, Miss Aspen. This isn't a trick. This is a place of comfort for those looking for comfort. And if I could save everyone, believe me, I would. I have tried. That being said, there are things that have happened here that even I can't explain. I believe that it's faith. And I'm not even sure how it happens, to be completely honest, or where it comes from. I'd like to believe that it's the Almighty. I have to. But what started out as a single ministry became more because it was undefinable. If that makes sense. I started this ministry quite some time ago, and it struggled. Only about a year or so ago did I open it up when I saw things that I couldn't quite explain starting to occur.
Like what?
Prayers being answered in ways that I had never seen them answered before. That's when I started welcoming in all faiths, bringing in individuals of all belief structures, because who's to say who's right and who's wrong? If you believe in goodness of heart and spirit, if you believe in peace and healing, who's to say you're wrong? I can't state a specific incident, just The impossible made possible. Those that were thought to be, well, there is a altar, a prayer wall with candles towards the back of the building here. If you go there, state your prayers, write them down, roll them up, insert them in the wall, light a candle, and if there's faith in your heart and your intentions are pure, there's a possibility. No guarantee. Because it would be a fool's errand for me to guarantee anything, since even I don't know how it works. But there's a possibility it could be answered. Faith is mysterious, Miss Aspen. Even I am constantly in the search for answers.
Thank you for talking to us.
You are
And
always welcome here.
I, for one, would love to try whatever I can to release this evil. And if you say this prayer wall helps, then I would love to do that.
They are also welcome here. If they can bring good intentions or at least a willingness to try to heal, I can try to help them. But
I'm afraid this particular person is unwilling. So I have to take matters as far as I can take them.
it's as good an opportunity as any. Follow the hall. It is the last door on the left. It is not locked. You'll find no locked doors here. Go inside, light the candle, write down your intentions, and put it in one of the open holes in the wall.
Thank you.
Is there anything else I can do for either of you?
Do you have a place for donations?
Yes. By the desk out there, there is a box. Whatever you have to offer would be greatly appreciated. It is what keeps the lights on.
I did have a question as well. Do you have a list for volunteering for your soup kitchen? I saw a pamphlet out.
Oh, of course. It's not our soup kitchen. It's one of the many soup kitchens in the area, but yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Of course. Now, where is that girl? He goes to stand up and walk out of the office.
As he's leaving, I want to activate Sense the True Form on him.
Okay. Go ahead and make the roll.
Okay. So I spend a willpower, and it's wisdom and wits.
After you make the roll, I'd like you to roll a d10.
Okay. I only got one success.
Okay? And then
And
what do you
then
get
I
on
got-
the additional d10?
Success.
Okay. As you try to call out to the spirits, the spirit answers begrudgingly and does bestow the gift upon you. And as you look upon the man, you see nothing but a man.
Okay.
Based on the way that the spirit answered, the gift worked this time.
But something's interfering here.
not interfering, but the spirits.
Doesn't want to do it here,
No.
or what? Okay, I know what Charles said. Shit. Okay. Okay.
This is more the spirits are displeased.
Right.
As we walk down the hall towards, are there like, because some doors and facilities like have like little windows where you can kind of look in.
Yeah.
Do the doors kind of have those as we walk by?
Absolutely. Yeah, you see a variety of prayer rooms, many different multi-denominational rooms. So you see some with like floor mats or pillows. It seems like any different kind of prayer room there is. You see some that are very much Muslim focused with the mats on the ground facing a specific direction. You see, some that are more based on Judaism. Any kind of different denomination, it seems that there is a prayer room designated towards. And then there are a variety of offices, but all of them are fairly sparse. There are also just sitting rooms for grief counseling, just a lot of very communal rooms purposed for gatherings, really. Some of them are in use as you pass by them, but they don't seem to be bothered by you passing by. Some of them might have a little curtain drawn over as they're being used.
Okay, just kind of clocking them to see if there's like, I don't know, like holy water or like priests or like what it kind of looks like. Just kind of clocking each room just to see.
You do see a little font by one room, which is a little bit larger, that does seem to be like an actual church, like a small church with pews and an actual altar at the end. It's a bigger room that seems to branch off.
But it looks like a communal kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will keep walking towards the prayer room he told us about.
Okay. As you reach the end of the hallway to the back of the building, you do see that to the left there is a single door. And as you push open the door, it is a small room, probably big enough to maybe fit 3 people. And on the right-hand wall, there is several slats, like little cubbies in diamond patterns. And in several of the cubbies, you see little, almost like rolled up scrolls placed within. And in front of the cubbies, there is lines of candles. A couple of them are lit, but most of them are extinguished. There are also slots for incense at the ends of the rows of candles. And there are prayer benches laid out in front for individuals to kneel on. The room is dark otherwise. The candles are all that illuminates the room.
So we gonna do this?
I have seen weirder from Eliza, so might as well try.
All right. I'll move to one of the prayer benches.
Are the scrolls for us to take? Or are they like, do
No,
they
there's
look like
actually
people have put them there?
paper
Okay.
and pens, like laid out little pieces of paper for you to write on. It seems like the scrolls that were inserted were people who'd already put their prayers in.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, then I'll grab paper and pen.
Okay. What do you write down on the scroll?
We need aid. and ridding the city of the leeches that feed on it.
Okay. Aspen, are you writing one?
Yeah, she's gonna grab a piece of paper and a pencil and write and then erase and then write and really, really think about her words. She's buying in. She's gonna see what happens. So she's really trying to take it seriously. And she's going to write on the paper. She's trying to figure out how honest to be on this piece of paper. And she's really thinking about like who's gonna read it because that might get real weird, right? So she's just gonna write. I pray for help in the fight against our greatest evil. And then I'll put Bloody Mary. And then write she's gonna write leech, and then she's gonna scratch it out. And she's gonna write vampire, and then she's gonna scratch it out, and then she's just gonna leave it the way it is.
Okay.
I will.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I will light the candle, and I'm gonna pray to Gaia. I mean, I wasn't lying when I said that's what she believes in. So
Okay. I'd like you to both make either manipulation and persuasion or charisma and persuasion rolls. No favors can be used here. No beauty. No nothing.
Are we at rage 3? Yes.
Rage 2 currently.
Okay.
am I at rage 2 as well, or still rage 1?
You're at rage 2.
Okay.
The time that you've spent with Charles has kind of
Been
dug you
annoying
out of
enough.
the hole a little bit. Yeah.
I know you said no gifts and stuff, but what about rhetoric specialty?
I would say for this purpose, no, because you're not actually talking.
Okay.
Can I spend a willpower, please?
Yeah.
I would like to spend one as well.
Okay.
I got 3 successes.
Okay.
4.
As you're sitting there with the candles lit, your papers inserted into the diamond-shaped openings. From the other side, the scrolls disappear, having been pulled in to the openings. You hear a little rustling on the other side. And then in a soft but raspy feminine voice, vampires and werewolves, vampires and werewolves. Monsters all around. Which to believe, which to trust. Help one to fight the other. All are bad, all cause pain. After a moment, you look towards where the scrolls were or at least Aspen's scroll was, and you see an eye pressed up against the diamond looking back. Which is the greater evil? How do I know it's not one for another?
We fight for humans. We fight for nature. We fight for spirits. We fight for many things, and the vampires fight for nothing. They fight for themselves. They fight for power.
Humans hurt nature. How do I know you won't turn on them?
Because it's you who are part of nature also. And we're here to protect you as well. We are not ones to harm humans.
What about the angry, snarling monster inside? The one you keep at bay? What about them? What do they say?
They don't say much, but I have control. We have a sense of control. And it's not like us to hurt humans. It's only to fight and to protect nature and the world.
Not like you, but not impossible. There were some of yours that did hurt humans.
There are some humans that hurt humans. You can't judge an entire group by what some do.
I think you know the scales are balanced with humans. You have a little bit of a advantage.
We do, but we're still losing. And if the world dies, humans die with it.
Also, we speak for us who fight against the ones that would hurt humans. We've had to before, and we will continue to protect humans even from others like us.
You're walking through a dungeon, and you approach two guards. One lies, one tells the truth. One of you lied, one of you told the truth. Why? Why did you lie to Reverend Thomas?
What do you mean?
Your name's not Allison.
Because the vampires have destroyed my real name.
There are no vampires here. I've made sure of that.
No, but they've told the world something that the world is inclined to believe.
And how do I
And
know
it's-
you're not lying to me now?
I think I'm a monster. Because I killed someone very dear to me to protect my pack. Does that feel like a lie? And I don't want what happened to him to happen to others. Where they took him and they twisted his mind until he didn't know who he was. And then they got him addicted on their blood. And they keep doing it. To anyone that they find useful.
If you're a monster and they're monsters, why should I get involved in a battle of monsters?
Because I'm hoping to leave the world better than it is. And humans better off than they are now.
Seems like humans are just getting caught in the crossfire.
That will happen whether or not you get involved or not. But maybe if you help us, we can rid those who are actively hurting humans in this city every day. We try not to. Sometimes we fail. At least we're trying.
We can't save everyone. But I can tell you we try.
Maybe if I help you, I just bring trouble back here. Trouble to the Reverend. Trouble to the people who are doing good.
I can't guarantee that it won't. But if you want me to say that I'll make sure I never come back so that it doesn't bring trouble, or I could do my best not to bring trouble, I will.
What do you want?
We'd like a way to combat a very strong vampire. Specifically, we were looking for holy water that carries the essence of faith, not just what is communally used, something stronger.
A weapon.
Yes, a weapon.
I don't usually work in weapons. I can, but I don't like to.
If it helps to think of it as a cleansing of evil, you cleanse, you heal. We're healing the earth and cleansing an evil, if that helps.
If I do this, you understand it isn't going to just only work on vampires, right?
Does
will
it work on
on
us
you
as-
too.
This isn't the first time I've wielded a weapon that could harm me as well.
I want to believe that your intentions are pure. Why else would you come here? But also, desperate times call for desperate measures, and I have seen the truly desperate. I have been the truly desperate.
I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that it's completely pure. There may be other personal reasons that are attached to that. We still carry the human with us, and it's human to have other reasons, but we try to stay as pure as we possibly can in our intentions. I can't say that there's not a bit of an avenging nature to it in some ways. They've hurt people we care about too. I don't want to lie to you. I want to be honest.
I appreciate that. I prefer honesty. One of you roll a charisma and persuasion assisted by the other. They can take an additional die.
You can go ahead.
Six.
She falls silent for a few moments as she considers. I will do this for you. This time. But do not ask this of me again. You're free to come back. If you wish to be healed. If you are actually looking for help. Because that's what this place is for. This is not an armory. But this time, because you were honest, and because I truly believe that you think you are fighting evil and are not the evil yourselves. As she lets that moment hang, you hear a little rattling within the diamond-shaped slot where you had put your scroll, and a vial, maybe the size of kind of a small perfume bottle, gets shoved into the scroll tube.
I'll grab it and hand it to Jester.
I'll take it. I have a question. Is it possible to heal the damage that the vampires do to human spines? I don't mean getting them addicted to their blood. I mean the manipulation that they do.
Depending on the extent of the damage, it is
Months.
possible. Months?
Months.
It could take months. It's like rewriting a book or rebuilding a house. I'm not sure that all the damage could be undone, but at least some of it could be washed away. I believe anything's possible with time.
I know you don't want danger brought to you, but would you be willing to help someone if down the line I brought them to you to heal?
Prove to me that you're not a liar. Prove to me that you're not a monster. Believe that you're not a monster. For yourself. Then maybe. Because if you can't believe you're not a monster, why should I?
Okay.
Make a very, very nice donation on your way out. These are good people, and they don't deserve your problems.
Thank you. Thank you for all the help. Thank you for listening.
She doesn't respond, and it seems quiet to any further inquiries. As you head back out of the prayer room and return to the front, you see the Reverend standing at the front desk, with Alice back at the front desk, scribbling. But as you pass by this time, she does not bark at you. She does not growl. She doesn't even look up, except for as you reach the door. She just kind of looks up from the paper, acknowledging your departure, before going back to scribbling on the paper.
I will stop at the donation box and take out all the cash I have in my wallet, which is less than $100, but it's all I got, and put it in the donation box.
I would assume that they would have something like a Cash App for donations or something like that as well. I'm going to do that on my phone because I don't, Aspen doesn't carry money with her.
That's fair. That is fair.
Also, I would like to grab the pamphlet for the soup kitchen and take it with me.
So after making a donation and heading out back to Regina, as you step back out... Oh, yeah.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a dumpster behind this place?
Yeah, probably. I mean, they have their fair share of refuse they need to get rid of, and city services head out here. So,
are there rats around this dumpster? This doesn't seem like the best neighborhood.
We'll actually get to that in just a second. But as you head outside the front doors, that lightness in your step, that ease, does unfortunately retreat. That aura of peace and calm does disappear the minute you walk outside the doors. The weight of the world and all of those problems returning as you return to the parking lot. Walking around the side of the building, you do find a dumpster outside. And if you would like to look for rats, you can make a wits and animal ken to see if you can find any rats.
2 successes.
2 successes. Scouring the outside of the dumpster, looking around, you do see evidence of rats, but you do not see the presence of rats, obviously. If you wanted to, you could try and coax any rats out if there are any present, but you do not observe any currently within your field of view.
Nah, I don't need any for what I plan to do. So
Okay.
I'm just going to take out a packet of dried fruit, open it, and leave it around where the presence of rats is.
Okay.
And then I'll head back to Aspen.
So as you return to Regina, is there anything the two of you wish to say to each other before heading out?
I mean, even though it was strange being in there and they seemed to know everything about our situation, it's kind of nice
It
talking.
Yeah, it felt kind of nice. Definitely something there.
Do you maybe want to volunteer at a soup kitchen with me later?
Sure.
Great.
So you climb into the Jeep, reconditioning yourselves to the weight of guilt or stress or anxiety or frustration or thinning patience. You head back off to confront your burdens and your responsibilities, to take on your challenges with a additional weapon in your arsenal. But knowing how you got that weapon and what you had to confront, not just in the world, but within yourselves to get it. What you had to face, knowing those that are affected with this war that you fight. Not just your loved ones, but everybody else in the world that has to deal with the consequences of this raging conflict. Knowing that there are other participants in this battle, those that are graced by some sort of divine energy, that don't necessarily view you as the good guys, just another monster to be contended with. Maybe raises a couple of hairs on the back of your neck. Because this pack of Guru hasn't yet had their confrontation with hunters yet. Until today.
St. Petersburg by Night is brought to you through collaborations with our partnered vendors, Wolfpack Dice, Ember Fox Dice, Dragon Ink Dice, Bear the Bard, Champs Tramps, Penshi Artista, and Chromatic Creations. Links to our partnered vendors, as well as our Twitch and YouTube channels, can be found on our website, stpbynight.com. The official theme song for St. Petersburg by Night is Vampire by Faith and Failure. You could find them at faithandfailure.com. You can follow St. Pete by Night on all socials with the hashtag St. Pete by Night. If you wish to support our program, you could do so at coffee.com/St. Pete by Night to help keep the stories rolling.
Welcome back. In the first half, we saw Aspen and Jester head to Tampa Ministries, a multi-denominational facility catering to all faiths, where they had a conversation with Reverend Thomas, an individual who caters to all faiths as well, attempting to help counsel the bereaved Jester with her issues about Leon and his execution. What they were really looking for, however, was to get access to some holy water. And this is where Alice enters. Alice being a young woman with a very interesting origin story that is still yet to be fully uncovered. They found themselves in a prayer room where they submitted their request only to be answered by Alice herself in a most suspicious and an unusual way. After a conversation about their intentions and being confronted about their origins, their request was granted, and they were given a vial of holy water to be used against Bloody Mary, under the understanding that this was a one-time only deal, and if they were to return to the ministries, it would not be for weapons in the future. Here in the second half, we move to Aiden and Lucas, who head to the Port of Tampa on reconnaissance, looking to gain any information they can about the ship that holds Bloody Mary, the ship that they look to make their attack, their final attack, against the Bruja Sheriff, the greatest threat the Guru of Tampa have ever experienced, and possibly the biggest opposition in their way of unseating the Tampa Camarilla. Lucas and Aiden, when are we heading out? When are we going to the port? With Artie in tow, what preparations are we making, and how are we going about this plan to try and scout out the port?
During the day?
Yeah, I think day is probably the right answer. It's nighttime is conspicuous. There's probably going to be more people searching at nighttime.
Now, the day is also the most trafficked time of the port, so there are a lot more people, but also a lot more eyes. When Rat did report, they said that's when the most guards were present, because that is when Mary is the most vulnerable.
Go early in the morning, just as sun's breaking.
It's a thought. Why don't let's take advantage of shift change. So I think either a morning or maybe even when most of the people are leaving, because they're going to be thinking about leaving and not necessarily paying attention to what's going around them in the evening. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. I think right before sunset is when we'll arrive.
Okay, so around like 5:30-ish, just after 5 o'clock shift ends, but while people are still filtering out, because, people don't get to leave at 5, that's when they get to clock out or begin the leaving process, usually. You don't get to walk out the door at 5, that's when you get to stop working, at least in most labor jobs. So, okay, heading out, taking Charles's truck, or are you procuring another vehicle to go on this operation? How do you want to go about this?
Yeah, I guess we can take the truck. My truck.
I'll drive.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I've been practicing. Kinda.
What's kinda?
Like, Regina's there, obviously, to stop me when I'm off looking out the window or something.
This isn't gonna do that.
Your truck sucks.
That there's a lot you're correct on with that statement, but that's not what we're gonna get into right now.
Am I going with you guys, or can I stay home and just do the remote thing? Because from the sounds of this, staying home and doing the remote thing sounds better and better the more this plan is unfolding.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, we just take our cell phones with us, stay in contact with
Actually,
you.
I have been working on upgrading our reconnaissance game, since we just seem to be getting in more and more trouble with the reconnaissance. So I have done a little online shopping and got these nifty headsets that you guys can use. So no needing to grab anything in your pocket, just pop one of these bad boys on. Won't work in any other forms except, Glabro and Hamid, but it'll do the trick for staying in the forms you're in, at least for now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can
Cool.
make that work.
Yeah. It should be pretty sneaky. It's just a little earpiece, goes right in the ear. It's got a pretty good microphone to pick up anything you're saying, but it should be undetectable for the most part. Nothing too fancy, but also shouldn't be easy to pick up on right away unless they go looking for it. It's got a good range too, so I should be able to stay in contact with you for a good long while unless there's real interference. If you go in the boat, that's the one thing I'm worried I'll lose contact with you because it's got those steel sides. That's the one place I might lose you, but up until then, you should be good. Layout of the place, from what I looked at, couldn't get a good street view look at the place, but I did get overhead and satellite shots. We're looking at a peninsula. The port office is at kind of the top of the peninsula, midway, top to mid part of the peninsula. That's where you're going to hit your first interference point. Where you're looking for, obviously, is going to be almost all the way down at the bottom of the peninsula. Now, there are a lot of businesses along the way down the peninsula. So you could probably get past the first port office without an issue if you can talk your way past saying that you belong to one of the businesses if they stop you. If you do it the stealthy way, you can probably just sneak past. But the closer you get is where you're going to run into interference potentially, because knowing her, she's going to have as many obstacles as possible along the way, possibly with the businesses, possibly with the Port Authority, who knows. But the closer you get, the more difficult it's going to be. So from what I've nailed down, there are 3 businesses down near the tip of the peninsula. That's where it's likely to be her ship. Of what I've watched over the past couple of weeks, the ships that have moved the least are down there. One of them is a cement factory. One of them is a shipping and receiving. And one of them appears to be oil refinery. Mostly just transporting. They don't do the actual refining there, but they bring it in and move it by land. So, could be any of those 3. Could even be all 3, and she could be moving between them. I don't know, but from what I've watched, the boats there move the least. Could be any of them. I couldn't get access to the records on any of them. That's what I've narrowed it down to. The others, from watching, have moved pretty frequently. But I couldn't get good views of the boats either. No street view. Nothing nearby gives me a good shot of it. Probably Port Authority restrictions. Nothing good. No, not even any good social media, but who takes social media at a port? So that's what you're looking at. You're going to need to get all the way down there if you're going to get even close. But again, not a lot of problems near the top. It's the further down you get that you're going to run into issues. Cool?
And just to it's a steel-sided. It's got a steam tower thing. It's black. Is that all right?
I know there's a stripe.
Yeah, there's a stripe on it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 3 ships. Something's got to hit that. We can take it from there.
I mean,
I'm
if I was
guessing
gonna
it's
guess,
going to be one of the most manned ones down there.
yeah,
If the other guys are out for the day, or the night, you're probably not going to see a lot of guys hanging around, other than basic security, which probably won't be much. So I think you'll be able to narrow it down, but who's to say?
if I had to take more of a guess, I would probably say we start at the shipping and receiving. That sounds pretty leechy to me.
Okay.
I also wouldn't put it past them to own all 3 and just
It's
play
yeah.
the shell game between all 3. But that's the one they found her at. If that's the one they found her at, then that's where we start.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so you guys are gonna head by truck. Are you ditching the truck and going on foot, or are you gonna try and take the truck as far down as you can? What's the plan with that? Because there is cameras nearby on all the buildings. Now they're supposedly owned by the businesses, but the Port Authority also has cameras, and if we know anything about the leeches, they have control of pretty much every agency in Tampa.
Is
I say we
there? Oh, I was gonna say, is there a in and outs? We're gonna have shipping trucks, 18-wheelers. Is there a truck stop, a refueling station?
There's a weighing
somewhere close.
station, yeah.
Okay, that's probably our best place to park the truck and move in because it's not going to be too far away, and we could probably just head in on foot. What do you think?
Yeah, I was gonna say if anything, a mile out, if not even a little bit further than walking in.
It's not even
that's
that
fine.
long. The peninsula's not
Perfect.
even a mile, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, good luck, you guys. I'm gonna be nearby as near as I can be, but good luck.
Thanks, Artie.
Give him a little punch on the shoulder. Freaking glasswalker.
This is what I do, man. I'm the guy
Oh,
in the
yeah.
van. That's how I've always operated, and Aspen prefers me that way. So you know.
There's a lot of creepiness in that sentence, but hey, we're gonna head out. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, let's go.
It's our kink.
Okay.
What can I say? All right.
Ugh.
So, climbing in the truck. Who's driving? Are you letting Aiden drive?
Oh, absolutely not. No.
Okay.
No.
So the ride is smooth. It's fine. You're able to drive, no problem. As you are driving towards the peninsula itself, a lot of traffic is heading out. You're seeing a lot of vehicles heading out. So the traffic getting in isn't as difficult. Eventually you do get to the first checkpoint where you are stopped by Port Authority. And as you pull up, there is kind of like a drop down gate, and one of the Port Authority guys come up and they kind of gesture for you to roll down your window.
Roll it down.
Can I help you?
I'm gonna kind of like seem a little like hesitant to show like the scars on my face, but I'm not avoiding showing them. I want him to see them. I want him to notice them. Yeah, I'm here picking up my last check. These motherfuckers screwed me up, and so I'm coming in to get my last check.
Give me a manipulation and subterfuge.
Two successes.
Kind of takes a moment. Tries not to be obvious about looking you over, but after kind of leaning a little bit, gives a little bit of a wince. Tough break, buddy. You'll get back on your feet. Good luck, man. Pats the side of the truck and heads back to the check post, and the arm raises. You end up driving through. Pass on a little bit longer until you eventually see the weighing station, where there are a few still 18-wheelers pulled off to one side. It seems like the last trucks of the day heading in to probably park overnight and be loaded up to head out the next morning. There are a few parking spots off to one side for regular vehicles, probably employee spots, but several of them are empty. There are a few because they do get shipments overnight. This is a 24-hour facility for the most part. It's just a lot less busy overnight because without the daytime light, there's a lot less boats coming in overnight. Obviously, there's a lot less they can do during the evening hours, but they do have employees that still come in overnight. But there are a few parking spots available.
Or it'll find somewhere and pull in and park where other smaller, not 18-wheel. I'm not going to park with the 18-wheelers
No,
where other
obviously
smaller
not, yeah.
cars
Yeah.
are parking. I'll reach back and grab my backpack, make sure my camera's in there. I'll throw that on and look at Aiden. Are you ready?
I sure am. Let's do this.
Hey, you like to try new foods, right?
Yeah, I love food.
Okay, so if we're good, if we make it through this on the way out, places like this, they always have this snack that they keep around nearby. They call it lot lizard. And so we'll stop on the way out. We'll get you a lot lizard. You can take it home with you. It's a big meal. You'll enjoy it. And then, yeah, I think if we do well, I'm not a fan. It's not a taste I like, but we'll get you a lot lizard. Yeah.
Well, then what are you gonna have?
I don't know. I might have a burger.
Ah,
Yeah,
I
know.
love.
Gotta try new things, man.
Can I have both? If I do a really good job.
Yeah. I mean, this is your thing. Like you're the go in and get information. I go in and usually make sure there's less people when I leave. That's my thing.
Yeah, we're trying not to do that today.
Unfortunately. Yeah, exactly. So.
Okay. Yeah, well then guess I found this in Artie's closet down at the bottom of a cardboard thing. It smells disgusting. But yeah. Can I take a quick look from the way station where we're at? How many more gates roughly are there just from what I can see to get in?
So, looking from where you are, roll me a wits and investigation since you're looking for something specific.
3.
So, looking off in the distance, it doesn't look like there are any gates necessarily, but there are patrolling vehicles that seem to be moving about the area. So there aren't any necessarily checkpoints per se that are going to stop you, but vehicles might stop you. And a lot of the facilities themselves have guardhouses at the specific plants, like at the specific factories. So they have their own security at their places, but there are also Port Authority vehicles moving about the area.
Yeah. All right, so from what I can tell, there's no more gates we're gonna have to get past, but there are some patrols that we're gonna have to maneuver around. He'll check his earpiece. Artie, is this thing working?
Loud and clear, buddy.
Okay. You gave a pretty good story about work. Did you work here?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just making sure. I think we just keep going with that. Because if someone does call, we can just say the guy at the front said we could come in for your last check. So.
Yeah, sure. I think as we get closer, though, we probably want to, slip into less conspicuous areas.
I think walking in and us trying to do that is going to look more suspicious than when before we actually get there. But yeah, I agree. But yeah, let's do this thing.
Let's go.
Can I get out of the truck?
Okay, climbing out of the truck. What's your approach? Are you just going to walk direct at first, or are you planning on getting stealthy almost immediately?
Walking relatively direct at first until we start getting to like those 3 ships that Artie had brought up.
Okay.
And at that point, probably about like, I don't know how big this place is, but like 75 to 50 yards ish, we'll start dropping down and then start making our way through.
Okay. Give me let's go dexterity and subterfuge as you're trying to just act natural, walk with purpose, trying to go unnoticed. It's not really stealth as much as it is just trying to, I'll even take dex and streetwise if you want to try another roll that might be better for you, because it's just kind of trying to blend
that'd be
in.
great.
Way better. Yes.
Yeah, there we go. 3. Out of that fat 0.
3. Yeah.
Okay. So just trying to blend in with the crowd that's moving out of employees and kind of going unnoticed by Port Authority. Nobody stops. Nobody gives you any guff or harassment as you move further down the way. It's a bit of a walk from where you parked by the way station. The way station is still several hundred yards away from the 3 factories down at the edge of the peninsula that you're looking to arrive at. But the further down you get, you do see, as you're nearing the bottom of the peninsula, lights flashing. And as you draw closer and closer to the bottom of the peninsula, you see several Port Authority vehicles parked, as well as several police cruisers parked with lights flashing.
And kind of elbow Lucas. I think now would be.
Yeah.
Gonna get a little bit stealthier and try moving in.
The Port Authority vehicles have lights flashing. The police cruisers do not. They just seem to be parked. And looking over the scene, you can see that the officers and Port Authority officials don't seem to be on alert. They don't seem to be doing anything aggressive. They just seem to be standing around talking, but they do have what looks to be like a perimeter of sorts put up. And they do even have a barricade blocking the entryway to the shipping and receiving factory.
Are any of them talking on a radio or a cell phone of any type?
They have radios on them, but they are not actively speaking on them right now.
Not going to do me any good. Artie, we've got some security activity. It looks
Really?
like both. Yeah, it looks like Port Authority and local.
All right, give me a minute. Let me look into this.
Yeah, we're going to get hidden.
Okay, give me a few minutes. I'll let you know what I find.
Aiden, I really got to teach you how to jump high. This is killing me. We need to do that at some point.
I can jump kind of high.
I mean, like me jump.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Now, the cement and the refinery, just regular security, as usual. Like rent-a-cops at their booths. You can see a few employees parked inside. Lights are on in the factories, but it seems like basic business employees coming and going at shift change, but nothing out of the ordinary.
Should we try and use some of these other buildings and see if we can slip around?
Yeah, I think that's going to be our best bet. Is there a particular order? Like, is the shipping and receiving in the middle and the other two are on the ends? Okay, that's what I thought. Damn it. Okay.
Yeah, the shipping and receiving is in the dead center, refinery on one side, cement on the other.
Yeah, this is starting to make sense. Let's use the cement facility. I don't want to get near those fumes and that shit going on over that refinery. We'll come back for that at a later date. Sure, Jester would like to have fun with that. But yeah, let's try to get into that area.
Okay. And make our way over to the cement.
Roll me a wits and awareness as you are moving your way towards the cement.
Are we going to be like smelling anything in particular? Like, be it my Wolfborn, would that help with what this
Not
roll's
with
going
this
to be?
particular roll, no.
Okay. 4.
One thing that does stand out to those that can read is as you are passing by the refinery, you do notice that a specific name stands out. It's got a generic refinery name, but what stands out about it is underneath an Endron subsidiary.
All right.
But as you approach the cement, you find typical chain link fence, barbed wire around the top, guard booth by the gate that seems to roll open and closed, There is lights on in the guard booth, employee sitting bored at the controls, machinery, trucks moving around inside. Not as active as it would be during the height of the day, but there are still employees hard at work.
All right. Way I see it, I can pull up the fence and we crawl under, try and sneak our way through the door as it's opening. I can't jump over this like you can.
Yeah, I know. You see, I'm trying not to come up with plans that I would do because I don't want to cause a problem. So I'm trying to think of something different. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to pull up the fence because
Okay.
the next best option is to get into that guard shack and choke that guy out.
Not trying to leave a trail of bodies.
Yeah, I didn't say kill him. All right, I didn't say kill him.
Nah, there'd still be a body left there, though.
You hear the
What?
radio click on. I wouldn't do that. Port Authority checks in at those guard stations really regularly. They find a choked out guy, you're asking for high alert.
That's why I'm trying.
Thanks,
not to
Artie.
Beat me. Thanks.
I'm gonna
So
grab
roll
onto
me a dexterity and stealth as you try to get around the fence, seeing that there are still cameras positioned monitoring some of the fence area.
Can I burn a willpower?
Yep.
Me too.
2.
Okay.
2.
Okay. So as you move along the fence, you find a section of fence. What do you wish to do?
Try and get fingers as close to the bottom as possible. Just try and rend it upwards. Trying to be quiet about breaking a fence, but
All right, roll me a strength and athletics.
Okay. 5.
As you reach for the bottom of the fence and start to pull upward, you hear and see headlights coming around the building heading towards your section of fence, and like rent-a-cop yellow security lights on top of the truck coming your direction, and spotlights starting to turn on the side of the building towards your section of fence.
Humble trapped. Let's bounce. We gotta back up.
Gonna put the fence down, try to put it back, and then make our way back a little bit.
All right, roll me another dexterity and stealth.
Any penalties because of the spotlight? Or are we
I
still
would say a
good?
-1 to both of you.
Okay. Another 2.
2.
Okay. As you guys try to flee, the spotlights the car headlights wash over you, and you hear a honking, and then a guy hop out of the car. Hey, what are you doing? But as you continue to run, heading away, you hear them start to call into a radio, but you can't really make out what they're saying as you both are booking it away. Now, this isn't a really obstructed area. This is a long, flat peninsula. So as you're booking it, make me a wits and awareness to look for any kind of cover or anything to try and break the line of sight.
Four.
Eight with a crit.
Okay. Well, both of you see a bank of trucks, 18-wheelers nearby, probably used for loading and unloading, that are definitely turned off and left empty for the night. off to one side that you could probably get to and hide behind.
Well, there's another way because these are boats, but I don't know how good of a swimmer you are.
I mean, good enough, but I've got some rather sensitive stuff in this backpack that I don't really want to get wet.
Also, those will definitely short out the earpieces.
Yeah. You stay hidden. I'm gonna step out real quick into an open area that I can see, and then I'm gonna activate Blissful Ignorance.
Okay, does Blissful Ignorance require any kind of cover?
Nope, it just makes me a difficulty 5 to spot.
Okay. All right, so roll me a d10.
Are you looking for a number or a success or not?
Success or not?
1 second. A 3.
Okay. Aiden, roll me a dexterity and athletics to run for the vehicles and try and get behind them.
What was the pool you wanted again?
Dexterity and athletics.
Okay.
You're booking it for the vehicles, trying to use Lucas's advantage. Now you're at no disadvantage on this one because he is giving cover.
Oh, okay.
He is actually
Same thing.
providing something to substitute the disadvantage.
Perfect. 4.
4. Okay, so you book it behind the trucks. Lucas, as you try to call upon Blissful Ignorance, as you try to call upon the Spirit's aid, which has been your ally in the past so many times before, the spirits refute you. They refuse to come to your aid. And you do not disappear as the Port Authority vehicle headlights cast over you. The vehicle pulling up towards you.
I'm going to look back over my shoulder. How far away is Aiden?
Aiden is probably at this point about 50, 60 yards behind the trucks.
So about 50, 60 yards away from me. Definitely cannot hear what I say.
I would say he could probably hear you through the headpiece.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm going to take the headpiece out and kind of hold it in my hand so that I'm kind of like covering it. And I'm just going to say, Hashkat. I'm going to call for him.
Okay.
And then I'll like hold it in my hand, but like have my hand up near my head.
What's your intention here? Looking for his help?
Yes.
Give me a charisma and persuasion.
Zero successes.
I can do it for a cost.
What are you going to do? And what's the cost?
Find me a spirit and feed it to me.
Deal.
You feel the pinpricks of claws run up your back onto your shoulder. You feel the pressure leap off of your shoulder. off in the direction of the vehicle. You see the front of the vehicle suddenly sag for a moment. Then you see the vehicle come to a screeching stop about 5 or 6 feet away from you. Moments pass. Then the lights click off. The vehicle puts itself in reverse, turns around, and drives away. You don't feel Hashiget return. Yeah. But in your head, or in your ear, as if very faint and distant, far away, soon.
Press the earpiece back in. All right, we're clear.
Okay. We get out and make way back to Lucas. So I saw the lights. They just didn't want to.
Let's just say they had I forcefully convinced them to do otherwise.
But they're still alive.
I mean, they drove away.
All right, that's a good point. Okay.
It's a Shadow Lord thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to get into it.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
No. Okay. Try the fence.
I think touching that fence is going to cause another incident. I think we need to try something different.
Okay.
On the earpiece, you hear, what did you guys do?
Tried to get through the fence. It's too high for me to jump. The gate itself is, I think it's on one of those timer things. So there's no way to really get past it other than jumping out and swimming, and don't really want to do that.
I want one of those cheeseburgers on your way back. I just had to bury a bunch of reports really quickly.
Done.
Yeah, done. Super done. Super done.
You're putting me to work tonight.
Yeah, well, we're the fun ones. You're gonna have some fun with the fun ones. Anyway,
just the boys, right? Hashtag just the boys.
Hashtag just the boys. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Aiden. We're gonna do that thing that we shouldn't do, and we're gonna split up. So let's get over by the water line. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I can hold on to your earpiece. You could swim around, and I'll hop over.
Okay, that'll work.
Okay.
Artie, I'll be right back. As he screams into it, and then
got it. Very sensitive equipment, Aiden. Very sensitive. Meant to be in your ear. Can hear you just fine. Thanks, bud.
Okay, he took it out already. It's fine. Hey, I gotta give him to take a bath somehow.
Okay. Yep.
At that point, he's gonna jump off the side and dive in.
Okay. Give me a strength and athletics to swim around.
Seven.
Easy work. Easy work. Swimming around is no problem. As you do, there is a large ship docked up against the side of this peninsula by the, factory itself, but sticking close to the edge is pretty easy to kind of swim along the edge and then climb your way up towards the inside where the fence line meets the ship. It's not too hard to maneuver, but getting up without being noticed, because this is where security is going to be tight. The boat, they don't want anyone messing with that boat. They don't want anyone getting in. It's going to be tough. So a dexterity and stealth would be necessary to get up into the factory from the water, because they are going to be, this is where problems could happen for them if it's going to be very likely.
Nah, that's fair.
I am going to use
3.
Oh yeah,
And yeah, Lucas.
leap of the hare's leap. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna hop over the fence. Raid check. Good.
All right, give me another D10.
Nine.
Okay, this time you feel the hare begrudgingly agree to grant you its gift. You feel the power within your legs swell and leap over the fence. Landing on the other side, roll me a dexterity and stealth because, yes, you have the power to leap over, but do you have the power to make a soft landing and go unnoticed? You already have gained the attention of this factory, and while you made the Port Authority go away, the factory might still be on alert.
4 successes.
4 successes. You do land going behind some pallets of cement and some trucks on the inside, going unnoticed. Aiden, you do manage to climb up onto the inside of the fence line of the factory unnoticed. Now there is kind of another security booth, more like a foreman's booth or like a docking booth that leads into the warehouse of the factory itself by the docks where they load and unload the ship directly into the warehouse. But you can slip around into the fence line, into the yard, without any issue or anything getting in your way, anyone noticing you. It's not too long before the two of you can catch up to each other pretty quickly without any interference.
Good.
Yeah, it was very wet.
The water.
Yeah.
Wet.
Give me my Artie back.
Oh yeah, here. Just
Thank you.
yeah, just carefully don't get the water out of your ear. Okay, all right. Well, just right in there. Just cool. All right.
How'd it go, buddy?
I did. It was fine. The water was a bit shocking, but
Kind of gross. That bay is brackish and
yeah.
salty and not salty at the same time.
Yeah, this water did not taste good.
There was also a toxic waste spill in there like a decade ago, so you probably got a little bit of that in there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Superpowers? Maybe?
No,
More?
no.
Oh.
Thankfully, you're one of us, so you'll probably heal from whatever it gave you pretty quickly.
Awesome. All right.
It's cool, man. Luckily, it's not red tide season.
Just a little mesothelioma. That's no big deal. You'll be fine.
Okay. Well, we're by the place.
Yeah,
So-
I got an update about that. The
Okay.
Shipping and receiving place. Whatever's happening over there is not official. Can't find anything on the books, PD or Port Authority. Whatever's happening, it's not on the up and up. This is definitely off record. Something is moving, and they are not talking about it. At
So
least
this isn't
not.
a nightly thing.
No, this is something special ops. They're making sure not to mention it.
Hey,
Okay.
Lucas,
Hey,
can you get pictures of that real quick?
But yeah, let's try to get to a spot where we can get a good vantage on it, and I'll snap some shots. I mean, this is not like a sports camera. It's not one of those crazy things, but I can get some good shots of it at least.
Okay. So give me another dexterity and stealth to get across the yard to a good vantage point. Now the difficulty is going to be a little bit more intense on this because you're moving from the opposite side to the other side. You were going to have to cross the entire factory to get to a good vantage point to get any good shots on this.
Another 3.
Five with a crit.
Okay. With Lucas leading the way, Aiden, I'll say you got a little bit of extra assistance on this that'll help you get there where you need to go. Roll me a wits and awareness as you are pulling out your camera. Lucas, I will give you a +1 additional die as the camera does give you some zoom bonuses.
4.
5.
Okay. Darkness has started to set in. Dusk is taking hold. Now the sun has kind of fully set over the horizon as you were arriving just around that time. Lucas, you see and start taking pictures of the barricade they have set up. But now you see that radio activity has started to pick up. People are reaching for their walkies and starting to talk actively amongst each other on the radios. Activity is starting to stir, and the officers who were previously kind of lounging are now starting to get a little bit more prepared or active for something.
I will focus in on one of the radios that's being talked on, and I will activate Spider Song, or at least try to.
Okay. Well, you can roll that d10 before you make the roll to see if you can even attempt it.
A 7.
You can attempt it.
Okay. Four successes.
Okay, as you call out to the spider spirit, luckily having a glass walker helps. The spider spirit answers and connects you into the radio frequency. The talk is the VIPs are en route.
I can hear their radio transmissions. They're saying there are VIPs en route, multiple VIPs.
Did they say how long?
No, they didn't give a timeline yet.
Okay. Hey, Artie, can you keep an eye on the gates and see, let us know when vehicles are coming in, like strange ones?
Yeah, I got it.
All right,
More than
Lucas.
one.
Should we stay at this spot or try to get a better spot?
I think we're good here. I've got good eyes, good ears. You
Okay.
just make sure I'm good.
Can I do another quick look around and see if we've been spotted or someone's looking for us?
Sure, give me a wits and let's go wits and insight actually, since you're trying to kind of scan the personalities or the intentions of the people around you, because you can see them milling about. That's not the issue. It's what are they focused on you or what you're doing.
Two.
Based off of their behavior, nobody seems to be interested in your particular area at the moment. Nobody is moving towards you. Nobody's even looking over in the area that you've set up shop. You seem to be pretty hunkered down at the moment. There is some activity where you were messing with the fence originally, but based off of their behavior, they're slowly losing interest. Slowly.
Well, the little distraction we did, because it was totally on purpose, that we did over at the fence seems to be working. Got some people over there. But where we're at right now, it doesn't look like anyone's caught on where we're at. So you keep doing what you're doing, and anyone gets close, then I'll see what I can do.
But yeah, totally on purpose. And yes, please. I trust you.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll keep snapping regular pictures.
So as you stay hunkered down, about 20 minutes goes by before the radio clicks on. Vehicles incoming. Looks like high-end fancy vehicles. Luxury something or others. Town cars. Don't belong in this area, I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
Dark has
Thanks, sir.
firmly set in at this point. Eventually a set of vehicles pull up. As they come to a park out front, several well-suited men climb out of the first car. They seem to be security, private security. But as they do climb out, The last person to climb out of the vehicle, Edward Bateman. Easy to tell. Wholly recognizable. Then another vehicle pulls up. Also a luxury town car. And as the door opens up, 3 individuals climb out. One is a woman, little older, probably climbing into her late 30s, maybe even early 40s. Graying hair tied up in a bun, dressed in a business formal suit, reading glasses on. Hard to tell from a distance, but something itches at the back of your mind, Lucas. A familiarity. But that familiarity is quickly distracted as the next individual climbs out, because the platinum blonde hair is a dead giveaway as Charles climbs out of the car. And the third individual seals the deal as Matthias Morningkill climbs out of the car.
Son of a bitch.
The trio
Hey, Art.
start making their way towards Edward Bateman, and Matthias Morningkill extends his hand out for a handshake. Aiden, you were going to say something.
I was gonna let Artie know, like, hey, I've got friends here. Matthias has shown up. Charles is here with some other person.
Lucas, you can roll me an intelligence in academics or intelligence in occult to see what itched at your mind about the woman.
Well, 4 successes.
Okay.
That was a cult, by the way.
Okay. It's been many years since you've seen her. But you've seen her. The last time you saw her was when she was helping decide your fate in Chicago. Her name, Anna Pelfrey, also known as Eyes of the Sun, a ghost council galliard from Chicago, the Sept of Jupiter. She was an assistant district attorney in Chicago before she changed, but after her change, she kind of focused primarily on her guru efforts. Stopped worrying as much about law and all of that. Focused primarily on the Sept. Didn't care much for tribe leadership or Sept leadership outside of Chicago. But it appears things have changed if she's working with Matthias Morningkill. One thing that stood out about her, though, one thing that you came to know about her in her time, she had a pretty unique gift. One that she really, really was strong in and used to her advantage. Her ability to hide what she truly was. An ability to extend to others when need be. Pretty useful ability if you were going to go meet with vampires. And this is where our story comes to a close this evening. We transition to one final scene. The docks outside of a shipping and receiving factory, the other side of the building, which stand empty. A large boat that once sat there for many, many months, possibly even years, now missing, out in the open water, bobbing along. Thank you so much to these amazing players. Thank you to everybody watching at home. Rage Across Tampa is far from over, as is this season. Come join us next week here at 10 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday. And if you're not caught up, go catch up on YouTube, where all of the past episodes are available. And if you can't watch, give it a listen. It's available where all podcasts are available, so that you can catch up with ease and get caught up on all of our previous episodes of Rage Across Tampa. Go give these amazing players a follow. There's been a lot of fun social media activity as of late, as we're enjoying making some delectable TikToks for you. But thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Have a lovely evening, everyone. Good night, everybody.
With the path, let the night be our guide. In battles of honor, we shall never hide.
This has been a St. Petersburg by Night production. Rage Across Tampa is produced in agreement with World of Darkness and Dark Pact. The storyteller for Rage Across Tampa is Kent. Tonight's characters were voiced by Preston, Champ, Noree, and Walks. Visit our website at stpbynight.com for more information about all of our productions and how you can become part of our community. Thank you for listening. Until next time, Fang, Stakes, and Claws out.